I focused on a multilateral approach to changing the environment, and specifically in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, in which sex trafficking is such an issue. Now, the problem with research on sex trafficking in northern Nigeria is that most groups focus on a criminal approach to solving sex trafficking. In other words, how do we persecute the criminals involved in this? I looked at it in a different sense as an economic issue. And why would a girl fall into this situation? And one thing I focused on was the statistic that 38% of young girls in Nigeria before they can graduate high school are impregnated. And furthermore, only 4% of girls do graduate from high school in northern Nigeria. So one approach of the many I focused on was, I guess, the question, why aren't contraceptives available in northern Nigeria? And I would actually like to just jump to an anecdote of my own life and my time in Senegal, where I was living in a very, very small village, and I was the only foreigner there. But at one point, this French woman with a women's reproductive rights NGO came into my village, and she came to my tea circle and talked about contraceptives. Everyone in my tea circle, young men and young women like myself, were very receptive to this speech. They wanted to know more. They wanted samples, but and they were very receptive when she tried to give out samples. They accepted them gladly. And the next day, I was really surprised when she plopped herself down on my couch and she said, "I don't understand. Everyone was so receptive to the speech last night, but I just visited the Case de Santé, the health stop, and the condom supplies were overflowing." She said there was no need. And I said, "Well, do you know who runs the health stop? He's a village elder. I asked, would you ever go to your boss and ask for a condom?" and she thought about it, and she said, "Well, no, I never thought about that." And she said, "Well, why can't they just sell condoms in the boutiques?" And I said, "Yeah, that's a really great question. Why not?" So I think that's why CSV is so important in the developing world, is because it's common sense to know what markets are demanding. It's common sense to ask, how do people want to buy products? And that's why aid hasn't worked in so many circumstances.
Very good, great.